Hi and welcome to the 2025 update on the cars on the channel. It's been a long time coming this year and I've only uploaded one video in the last 7 months, which is a damn sight fewer than I originally planned, but certain things get in the way sometimes and that's what's happened. But now I'm in a position to start work on the cars and do a lot more videos on each of the cars, the Range Rover Sport, the Rover P4, and the one I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into, the Lotus Elan, which has been severely neglected over the past few years. But you know, this is what happens sometimes. So yeah, without blabbering on, I will get into each car individually. So let's talk about the Range Rover Sport, which I've now owned for just over 7 years. And it passed the MOT with only 3 advisories back in early January this year. The advisories are very minor and are easily fixed. So I won't go into them in this video, but what I will do is do a proper update going into in depth on what's happened to the Range Rover Sport in the last 12 months and what I'm going to be doing over the next 12 months. And I have got quite a bit planned with the Range Rover. So very briefly, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on so I can read, because 1, my memory is failing, and 2, I need these to read with. So as I say, in the 12 months to January, I've actually covered only 1,103 miles, which is about 400 or 500 miles lower than I did in the previous year. And again, there are reasons for that. So I will just actually briefly tell you what the defects were and the advisories. The minor defect was the registration lamp was not working. The other 2 advisories were, and this has been an advisory for the last 5 years, I think. It's got a minor cut in one of the tyres at the back, and it's just a very little cut where something's taken a very thin slither of rubber out of the tyre. And the other one is flexi coupling has slightly deteriorated in the prop shaft. The other thing that's happened in the last 12 months is that the aircon has stopped working. So I need to have a look at that and see whether it's just a coolant leak issue or something else has caused it to stop working. So that's going to be an upcoming video. The other things I've done is have to replace the battery as the other one just stopped holding charge. And I think one of the issues is that because I've not been using the car very often and it's only been for short journeys, the battery tends to take a toll. And it was a battery that actually came with the car when I bought it those 7 years ago. So it hasn't done too bad, I suppose. So the actual total cost that I've spent on the car this year, excluding the MOT and tax and insurance, is £143, and that was for the battery. So that's not bad really, is it? So very briefly, I'll run through what the plan is this year. So refurb or replace the wheels with new tyres, replace the flexi coupling or replace the whole prop shaft. And replacing the whole prop shaft, which I'll do myself, is the easiest option. I've seen videos on people replacing the flexible coupling, and I don't really want to go through that process, to be honest, but I haven't totally ruled it out, so let's see how we get on with that one. The other thing is that the car is definitely in need, desperately, of a full valet inside and out, which again I'll be doing myself. A full service is going to be done on the car very shortly, and replace some of the interior trim, which I've been meaning to do since I've had the car, and it's one of those things that just gets moved on and on. And then I'm going to tell you in the next video, which I'll go into these things in more detail, is tell you whether I'm actually going to keep the Range Rover. And I have decided on that, so let's see. So we've got lots of interesting content to come on the Range Rover Sport, and if you like that sort of content and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. It makes a great difference to the channel. So the next car on the channel is the Rover P4, and it's made up the bulk of the content over the past probably 18 months now, and it will continue to do so for I'm hoping that I'm going to have it finished within the next 9 months, but there is a lot of work and I keep uncovering more jobs to do. So if you like the Rover P4 content and any restoration work, of which there is a lot to do, please like and subscribe for that content. So we've already started on the splash panels, which is going to be the next video on the Rover P4, coming up after the Range Rover video. We've got lower rear wing repairs to do. So I need to do some repainting on the car, and what I'm actually going to look at is using the coach painting method, which is a very old process, and there's a company that supplies coach paint, and I've been doing a little bit of research on it, and certainly all the parts that I've taken off are going to be painted using that method. So please stay tuned for videos on that. I'm also considering taking the engine out so I can properly get to the chassis areas, and also tidy the engine up because it's looking a bit tired. But the question is, do you take it and totally refresh it, or leave it with a bit of patina? I don't know yet. Then there's refurbing the fan blower, which I've taken out. There's repairing the clock, and there's lots more on the list of jobs to do. Again, which I'm not going to go into here, but I will be doing a more in-depth update on the Rover P4 soon. Now we come on to the Lotus Elan S4, my 1968 car that I've wanted ever since I was about in my early 20s, but never managed to do it until 10 years ago. Yeah, I've owned it almost to the week, 10 years now. It hasn't had a lot of work, lot of use, for one reason or another, and I decided over COVID to start taking the paint off the body in order to repaint it and do some body work, which was being covered up by paint and filler and bad fiberglass repairs. Now that's all been uncovered. Once the Rover is finished, I'll be concentrating on the Lotus Elan, because I'd love to get that running and being used as it should be. But again, I'm thinking about going in different directions and which one I prefer or not. Probably my preferred option is to restore it to as new condition, the original condition. The other option is to morph it into a fast road car. So we'll see about that. So that's a very brief note on the Lotus Elan, and I've actually got the engine sitting over there, which I may get around to doing a little bit of work on this year, but we'll see. It's something that I'd love to have a go at doing, but with the rest of the jobs I've got on, it's possibly not going to happen, but maybe I can do a little bit on that. Before I go, just one more comment on the actual videos themselves. I have bought some new equipment which will hopefully improve the videos and the quality of them, but also I'm going to try and make them more interesting and show you in more detail the work that I'm actually doing, instead of covering it after the work's done. So let me know what you think, if that's of more interest to you. I've bought some fabrication equipment which we'll go through at some point, and I'm hoping to get some more equipment in to make the jobs easier. I mean, for example, with the splash panel here, or the bulkhead, there are these indents which for a repair panel I'm going to replicate down here. There should be one there, there's half of it, but the rest's corroded. So I hope that's the sort of thing that you'll be more interested in. So I'm rambling on now, and I promised myself I wouldn't keep rambling on these videos, which I know I tend to do. So without further ado, I think I'll stop the video there. The next video, which will be within the next week, will be on the Range Rover Sport and a 2025 update on what's happened in more detail over the past 12 months, and a closer look at the problem areas and the work that I'm going to be doing in the next 12 months. So with all that said, I'll say ta-ta and see you next week.